We live in strange times. The housing bubble burst, rise of China, and the rise of inequality. Health is a very big deal. Taxes are a front-rank issue. Blue-collar jobs were lost. Two groups have been left behind, but it's a complicated story.
On the 7th of January 1943, a maid working at the New Yorker Hotel entered room 3327, where one of their permanent residents was staying. Inside, she found the body of an 86-year-old man who had died alone in a room he'd been living in for the last 9 years of his life. The man was broke and had been living on a diet of milk and crackers, using the little resources he had left to feed and take care of the local pigeons. This man went by the name of Nikola Tesla. Seeing Tesla in his final years, it would have been hard to believe he was one of the greatest minds of the modern era. His genius shaped the world we know today, pioneering the alternating current, the electrical system which powers our homes around the globe. His influence can be seen all around us, from remote control and radio to wireless communication. Perhaps most impressive of all, Tesla's work and creations came out of his passion for science, with his earnings being sunk into projects aimed at the betterment of humanity, rather than for greed and profit. Tesla was born on the 10th of July 1856, in modern-day Croatia. His mother came from a line of inventors and had an incredible memory, being able to memorize the entirety of Serbian epic poems. And so she trained her son with exercises in memorization. As time went on, Tesla was known to have an eidetic memory, later speaking 8 different languages, which he credited to his mother's efforts in his youth. At the age of 5, Tesla witnessed the death of his older brother in a horse riding accident, the image of which would stay with him for his entire life. After this, Tesla began experiencing flashes of light and images, making it hard to separate reality from his imagination. He claimed his inventions would come to him in these flashes of light, conceptualizing their entire design in his head and correcting their flaws without ever putting pen to paper. In an interview from 1919, he described this process, stating, "I do not rush into actual work. When I get an idea, I start at once building it up in my imagination. I change the construction, make improvements, and operate the device in my mind. It is absolutely immaterial to me whether I run my turbine in thought or test it in my shop. Invariably, my device works as I conceived that it should, and the experiment comes out exactly as I planned it. In 20 years, there has not been a single exception." Tesla excelled in the education system, but ended up dropping out of university due to a gambling addiction and other personal issues. Inspired by electrical demonstrations by his physics professor, Tesla went and got a job with the Paris branch of the Continental Edison Company in 1882, installing indoor lighting around the city. Management soon realized that his talents were wasted on such a job, and tasked him with constructing and improving dynamos and motors. He was so insightful in his innovations that the company soon had him traveling around Europe, fixing problems at other Edison installations. In 1884, at the age of 28, Tesla's manager offered him a job at Edison Machine Works in New York City, an offer he accepted. He soon moved to America, where he would spend the majority of his life, becoming a naturalized citizen 7 years later in 1891. He soon came into contact with company owner Thomas Edison, and the two initially got on, with Tesla describing Edison as an inspirational figure, and Edison stating to Tesla, "I have had many hard-working assistants, but you take the cake." This mutual admiration would not last long, however, with a lifelong rivalry soon developing. The main source of animosity between the two resulted from a disagreement about the type of current each man preferred. Edison's company owned the patents for DC, or direct current, a system where electric charge only flows in one direction. Tesla, however,
Liberty, liberty.
liberty, liberty.
The bug world is not for the faint-hearted. From the shadows, assassins strike without warning.
They're fast and they're deadly.
You can be impaled, clubbed, or torn limb from limb.
It's no exaggeration to say that this is the insect equivalent of shark jaws.
Just west of Norman, Oklahoma, got a tornado on the ground. Violent tornado. We got a wedge tornado in Norman, Oklahoma. You can go north. Stay out the part of the leaves. F4, F5 plus. One slope. Take a left.
Holy shit! That's the most insane thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. Oh my, holy shit! Oh my fucking god, dude, that's insane! Look at the fucking shape, man! Oh my gosh!
Down.
Yeah. So explain that house.
Look at it. It blew that thing down. That's
Yeah.
probably what.
It went right over this way. Look down that way. Oh, look at that. Oh my God.
That's like our backyard.
Look at that. Look at over there. Oh, the
Careful, honey. There's wires down in the road. You went right over. Oh my God.
I told you.
Oh my
I told you
God.
it hit that. I told you it hit that. Look at right over here. Look at these houses.
Oh my God.
And right over
You guys okay?
It hit Dylan. Look at that house.
The dead people are okay.
I know. Look at that. Look at this. It's all gone.
Look at that house.
No, no. Look at this house. Look at that behind us.
Oh my
Look at
God.
that behind us.
Oh my
Look at that.
God.
Look at that house right there.
Oh my God.
Dylan's is right here. Right this way.
Oh my
This is the way it
God.
went.
Oh look at that.
They moved that car. Look at all this. They hit the school. Look at all this.
Oh my God. I'm so glad we didn't go to Dylan.
Look.
Dylan's is gone.
Dylan's is
Dylan's
gone.
is gone.
Dylan's is gone.
Oh my God.
Look at the school.
Oh my God.
Look at the school.
That's so
Oh my
crazy.
God. It just missed us. It just missed us.
No.
Oh,
Look at all this.
oh my God.
Oh my God, the school's gone. It hit that.
Oh.
Look at it. Dylan's is gone. It came this way.
Few minutes. This will be the direct storm of the day. It's going to track from in near north of Independence over to just north of Parsons and tornado as we get east of Parsons toward the Missouri border. It's 2:20 now. By 4 to 5 o'clock, we should have tornadoes on the ground with a softball size hail up here somewhere, or grapefruit, 5 to 6 inch diameter hail. It's going to be a major day.
Is this Joplin?
Yes.
So it's behind this wall of rain.
Yes. 150 miles an hour shear on the west side of Joplin. And that's where the tornadoes at. So the guys take it. Right, y'all be right west of you. It's a high shear zone. It's right here. Good Joplin. Ball right here, south of me. Got a big ball right here. There's your popping. Hey guys, the tornado's trying to come down right here. The winds are on the north, and it's coming back around. The tornado's right here. It's coming on the ground right here. Hey, get the sirens going. Get the sirens going. I'm telling you. There it is. It's on the ground.
I see it. I see it.
Going right. Going right.
I got it. I got it.
Going right.
Power flashes.
Go. Take it. I got it. Just stay with it. Stay with it, Kevin. Going right down toward it.
Oh crap.
I know.
Why are you doing that?
Guys, we don't have all the roads. Large tornado, so maxi waves on the ground. Bam. This is a Jeff and Trusty storm chaser. I have a large destructive tornado and it's on the southwest side of Joplin. Notify. Large tornado on the ground doing massive damage. 20 minutes. It's an F5. It's an F5 going from the city. Feel it. F5 coming. Oh my God. Still, it's winter now. Feel the bottom of the tornado. Feel the bottom of the tornado.
Be quiet. Don't get acidic.
I'm not. Get past this, Kevin. We're gonna find. I'm not gonna get in it. There it is. Stay with it. Stay with it.
there we. Dad, you're getting this on video, right? So I was super excited for this day of fishing. We had a beautiful, clear morning, which isn't as good as cloudy, but was absolutely. Them off. Yeah. Yeah. It might have been a bluefish. I don't know. I strip set as soon as I did that. So after popping that fish off, I was beyond frustrated. Oh shit! There were just fish everywhere, and I couldn't get them. We didn't know what they were. We thought.
He doesn't want to come in yet. I wish he would come in.
We are very lucky to have this fish on, even really.
I know. I don't have wire.
Not wire. It's probably less than 50-50 chance.
See, the hook is in this corner of his mouth. That's an awesome shot.
I'm not going to grab the line because when I do that, I give extra pressure to him. You're going to have to reel him up with that. When I grab the line, if there's any nick in that leader,
That's it.
it's going to break off. Best thing would be if you got tail wrapped and then you can pull him in by his tail. That's what happens with albies sometimes.
Yeah, he's a surface man. He's just like, I'm out of here.
What kind of reel is that?
Allen. Yeah, pretty good actually. For like 250. Allen Fly Fishing Company. They're at the. There are a lot of them are at the shows. They're fairly inexpensive reels. It's lightweight.
Large arbor.
Yep. It's got a good drag. You can hear the drag. It's not like.
It's silent out, isn't it?
Yes. I would rather have noise, but I'd rather have noise.
Evil went through all that. Evil had a silent drag too. The customers said they wanted noise in the drag.
Oh man. Jeez. The size of that flat. He's pretty fat actually. Jeez, look at the size of that. It blew it up. Holy crap.
My boga's right up there, isn't it? Nicely hooked. Whoa. Whoa. Well, the boat's bouncing between 16 and 17 pounds.
Holy crap.
There you go. There's a frickin' trophy bluefish. You want me to get the sun facing the other way?
No, it's all right.
You got a good enough picture?
Yeah. Get a picture of him. I can't hold him
I'm
up.
not going to take a regular picture. Hold on.
Just push the top button. There you go.
Keep the whole thing in there. Get right up in the top.
Hold him up. You're all right.
Put your hand under his belly. Hold him horizontal. There you go. Hold him horizontal. You can't see the fire.
My name is Scott Harrison.
Just listen.
This is my wife, my son, and my one on the way. I lead an organization called Charity Water, and our mission is to bring clean water to everyone on the planet. I live in New York City now, but I didn't always. I grew up in suburbia, and this was my house. My dad was a businessman, and my mom was a writer. They loved each other, and they loved me. We were a happy family until we weren't. When I was 4 years old, my mom collapsed on the bedroom floor. We
This is an ABC News special report.
Good afternoon to all of you. I'm Diane Sawyer here at ABC News headquarters in New York, and we do have the breaking news of a shooting at an elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut. And you heard that right. It is unthinkable. An elementary school 45 miles southwest of Hartford. We know at least 3 victims are in the hospital at this hour in very serious condition. We know there was at least 1 gunman now confirmed dead. The school is still on lockdown. SWAT teams have been on the scene. We have seen the images of the terrified children being whisked out of the school, led by their teachers, and taken to a fire station nearby. And just moments ago, I spoke to the mother of a 7-year-old boy. In that fire station, there were 2 kinds of parents: those who received the joyful news of relief and those who are still in doubt about their children. She got the good news that her 7-year-old son was all right. Here's what she had to say. Did they give you any sense when you got there, when you got to the fire department area, what had happened? What did they tell you?
No, nobody is giving us, no officials are giving us any information. There's a parent I know who happened to be in the building at the time, and she's pretty broken up. She was in a meeting with the principal and some other people, and they heard shooting. They got up, they went out, and she had stayed in the conference room, and my understanding from her is the principal and other people got shot when they went out into the hallway, and she was the one who called 911.
So you talked to the person who called 911?
Yes, and she said that there was hundreds of shots, it sounded like.
Hundreds of shots?
That's what she said.
And were there families there who don't know where their children are?
Yes, there are still families here who do not know where their children
And were they giving them any information at all? Are there still
There's no
children?
information for those parents. They have the kids who were evacuated into the fire department house. They asked, as they've been taking attendance, they've been checking kids out to their parents. So some parents have secured their children and left with them, but there are still parents here who do not have their children and have no idea, and they're not being told anything.
What was your thought when you got this call? It is unimaginable. What was your thought?
I couldn't believe it. This is such a, we just moved here a year and a half ago from Providence, living in an urban area. We, thought we were coming to a much safer, secure place. Never would have thought anything like this would happen here. And it's a large town, but it's got a real small town family feel. And this is just unimaginable, and just very scared, worried about my son, worried about the other kids that I know here. And still just really in shock.
What is it you're going to say to your son about this? Have you thought about that yet?
I have not thought about that yet. And I mean, my daughter is in preschool down the street. I know her preschool's in lockdown, and I have an older son who's at the intermediate school for 5th and 6th graders, and they're in lockdown. I don't know what's happening there.
Well, again, I thank you so much for phoning in and everything that you've told us. Thank heaven your children are all right, and we just send you love and all of our thoughts for these days ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
And again, we want to stress there's so much that's still unconfirmed. This is still a moving situation with breaking news, but let's check in with our Justice Department correspondent, Pierre Thomas. He has been talking to all of his sources there. Pierre, what are they saying?
Diane, the FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms have sent personnel to the scene. They describe it as a very active scene. One senior official told me that the shooter is dead, that 2 firearms have been recovered. Again, a large number of federal authorities are coming to the scene, which suggests that there is a lot to investigate, and they're being very careful about talking about victims. The one official I spoke to said that he had been told of at least 2 children who had been injured in some fashion. Again, they're trying to get additional information from the local authorities, who are the lead at the moment, before they start giving out specifics on those injured.
This day, when a searing tragedy struck in a place parents felt their children were safe. The worst grade school shooting in U.S. history, at least 27 dead, 20 children, 7 adults, including the principal. And the gunman killed himself. And all over this town, in churches like the United Methodist Church behind us, well, the lights are on and they are still open for prayer tonight.
It will be all night. People have been gathering here for prayer, to lean on each other and lean on a belief in something bigger than themselves, to help get through what is just impossible to believe here or anywhere else. The sentiment here echoed in what you're seeing now down by the Washington Monument in D.C. Many members of the Connecticut delegation was there, but this story is really about their home here, Newtown, Connecticut, just 27,000 people. This is a place where people know each other, families know each other. And and it's not just about how many were lost, it's about the age. What is hitting everyone so hard is the reality of these being children that were targeted by a madman. We now know his name. We know he's 20 years old, Adam Lanza. We know that before he came to this school, he shot his own mother, Nancy, in the face, killing her at her home. The looming question is why this man then decided to come to this school. He shows up at a place where they're making gingerbread houses in preparation for the holidays and Christmas presents. Just kids. A man in black enters with a vest and multiple weapons and begins a massacre. It was a clear, crisp, and trouble-free start to the morning at Sandy Hook Elementary School. Kids like Ella Sievers and her mother Amy,
Let's do the updates.
eager for the weekend and the holidays to arrive.
It's Christmas time, right? Where are we, Mom, in terms of Christmas planning?
Some shopping, cookie making. We decorated our Christmas tree.
Ella Christmas list made?
Mm-hmm.
Sent to Santa?
Yes.
Ella's class was preparing to make gingerbread houses.
When you first got there?
When I first got there, it was like a regular day.
But at 9:41 a.m., the children's day and their innocence is shattered.
6-7 Sandy Hook School. Caller is indicating she thinks there's someone shooting in the building.
We heard a loud bang. We thought that something fell. Then we heard another. And then we thought that that was a gunshot.
What do you remember?
We got to school. We did everything we needed to, and then we heard all this racket. Then we heard them say, "Go in your cubbies." We thought we had to go because something bad was happening.
What did the teacher do?
She read us some books, and we talked about things, and we played little games in there.
And while that was going on, your teacher was reading you books and keeping you calm.
Yeah.
She just kept her calm and told you a story.
She read us The Nutcracker and another book that was about Christmas.
How did you find out, Amy?
Well, we got a phone call from the school saying the schools were in lockdown.
Lockdown? I mean, what? Kids kindergarten through 4 school.
Not very good.
Police quickly converge on the school, secure the perimeter, and start a painstaking search for the shooter.
The police came in. It's like, is he in here? Then he ran out.
That included checking every door, every crack, every crevice, every portion of that school. Our main objective was to evacuate as quickly and efficiently as possible any and all students and faculty in the school.
It takes an agonizing hour before it becomes clear just what's taking place inside the school. Next come ominous signs. Ambulances are called, stretchers set up. By 10:30 a.m., police and teachers escort groups of traumatized students out of the school. Kids who give the first indications of the terrible scene inside.
Kids were crying, not really like screaming, but they're all huddling together, and they felt so sick. We all put our hands on other people's shoulders, and then our teacher held the first person's hand, and she let us out.
Did you keep your eyes closed?
Yes.
The whole time?
Mm-hmm.
And when you opened them, where were you?
We were walking down to the fire station.
The children are taken to the fire department where frantic parents swarm, desperate to find out if their kids are safe.
It was terrifying. I'm still terrified. I think I'm still in shock about it all. I still don't know everything that happens. You're rushing over here and you can't get to where you need to go, and you have to park down here and walk.
When a son or daughter is found, the relief is immense.
I was so happy. I just hugged her.
What goes through your mind when you see her?
Oh my God, this is the best day of my life, the worst day of my life, just gratefulness. Yeah, gratefulness. I mean, the tears come to your eyes immediately when you know that your child's okay.
But too many families aren't as lucky. Minutes drag by, no answers on what's going on inside the school. As news trickles out, the worst becomes obvious. Not all of the reunions between parent and child will be happy ones.
Okay, these units in the pool, I got Bodies here.
By 11 a.m., police give the first indications that there are multiple fatalities inside. By 11:50 a.m., they announce most of the fatalities are children. It is almost unimaginable. 27 dead, 20 children. News of the second worst shooting in U.S. history smothers the country.
I know there's not a parent in America who doesn't feel the same overwhelming grief that I do. The majority of those who died today were children. Beautiful little kids between the ages of 5 and 10 years old. They had their entire lives ahead of them. Birthdays, graduations, weddings, kids of their own.
The man responsible for taking these lives, 20-year-old Adam Lanza, shown here in a 2005 photo. Lanza's body found in a classroom after he took his own life. He was armed for war, say authorities, wearing a bulletproof vest and carrying 2 semi-automatic handguns. A semi-automatic rifle was found in his car. Authorities had originally confused him with his older brother Ryan because he was carrying his brother's ID. Lanza had apparently shot his own mother in the face before doing what we still can't understand, heading to the school. Principal Dawn Hochsprung, one of those killed, ironically issued a new security alert letter to parents just this fall. Tonight, Newtown residents gather to pray for strength to get over the events that have rocked this small town, as well as the lives of the most innocent among us.
Evil visited this community today.
Our hearts are broken today. For the parents and grandparents, sisters and brothers of these little children, and for the families of the adults who were lost. Our hearts are broken for the parents of the survivors as well. For as blessed as they are to have their children home tonight, they know that their children's innocence has been torn away from them too early.
It's not real because it's not here. It doesn't happen here. And you know what? The 6 degrees of separation, we know those families. There will be families and friends that we know.
You know some people got hurt, right?
Yes.
You know that it's over?
I didn't know when it was over, and I probably would have never known when it was over.
Well, it's over, okay? You know that now? And what happened there today, and it's over, okay?
Look at that.
Dude, did you hear that noise?
Oh, yeah. Look at it. Oh, here it comes. Look at this. Holy cow, it's right there. Okay, it lifted for a moment, I think. Right here? No, hang on. Here's a road right here. Hold on, I gotta see if it goes. Wow, that is beautiful.
One right there, one right there. Oh, dude, there's a big one right there. Guys, we just stumbled into the Holy Land. This is insane. I just got back from Florida and Columbia yesterday. Me and my good buddy from college, Sam Dice. Sturgeon guys, you guys know from John and Parrott's videos. Beyond beautiful day. It's like 75 and sunny. There's not going to be any wind. It's like 11:30 right now, and there's big bass everywhere in the shallows. Like, there's another big one right there. The bass are about to do their thing. The bass are about to spawn. And I think we're about to have an unreal day of bed fishing. We're also going to go after some toothy critters a little bit here, but yeah, there's really not much in today's video. I think it's going to be a good old Wisconsin big bass beatdown. Should we try to catch a 5-pounder? What's the goal we should try to attain here? Is there a goal? I kind of want to just catch a muskie. We can do 20 pounds.
A muskie would be a good goal.
20 pounds in a muskie would make this day unbelievable. We do have a scale. We have Parrot scale. Parrot scale is in there, and it works. Yeah, so we're set. We're just going to keep idling until we see some fish on beds and then go catch them. But like I said before, the muskie is the goal. I'm very excited for today. It's finally summer up north, and the fishing should be amazing. Got him. Oh, it's a big smallie, dude. For this lake, this is a big smallmouth. I didn't even feel the bite. It was just little. Dude, this is going to be stupid easy. Let's switch off. And then the muskies. Look at that, dude. That thing's big. First cast, big smallmouth, dude. This is a big one.
He's not very fat, but he's long.
Wow. Can you get that scale? We'll see if we get 20 pounds. That's definitely a 4-pound fish. Came off. Oh, dude, there's another one on it. You were kidding me. It came off that turquoise bed right there. That's the male because that fish is smaller. Wow, okay, so this is the female. All right, let's get it back quick. How long do you think it is?
At least one.
No. 19 and a half. But still, the biggest smallie I've ever caught out of this lake. Just a beauty. All right.
So obvious that it's caught.
First fish of the day. Big smallie. Right back to her bed. See you, girl.
Oh, another bass. Oh, I think it's
A bigger one?
Right, see on the corner there?
Oh my God, it's huge. Yeah, there's a giant smallmouth in the corner and then a huge largemouth in the middle of this crib. Dude, this is like the perfect storm of bedding bass. These are just the bonus. Sam and I honestly came out here trying, and the main goal was muskies, but when there's so many big bass on beds, you can't ignore them, at least in the beginning of the day. I'm going to spin us around a tiny bit. There's a little male in a bed right there. If you guys can see that little tan circle, that's all we're looking for. The little tan circles in the weeds, it's so obvious. There's a big wooden crib. Sam and I have been trying to... I thought I had him there. There's a big wooden crib. Sam and I have been trying to catch these fish for like a good half hour. There's 3 giant largemouth on it. Like, they're all 4 to 5 pounds, but they're not being very friendly with us. They've bit a couple times, but they're getting really skittish now. So we're going to move on to new fish. There's not a lot of fish locked here. So that's what I'm going to use, that little swim bait. Sam and I are going to do an audible. Yeah, we're not seeing that many fish on beds. We're going to go try.
I found a way.
What is going on, dude? Dude, this is like a zoo. I have to get the big camera out. This is ridiculous. So I'm not exactly sure I had audio for that clip. Here's what just went down. We pulled into this bay. We saw muskies everywhere. There's muskies chilling under the piers everywhere. This is what we wanted to target, number one. We wanted to fish for muskies. Dice pitched his top water to the muskie, and it ate. It was probably, what was it, like high 30s? I don't think it was a 40.
No, I don't.
It wasn't quite 40, but it was still a very nice fish. But there's muskies everywhere in here. Nothing really happened in that clip. I was just showing you guys where all the fish were hiding out. We transitioned from the bass since there wasn't all that many on beds, and there are bluegills hanging everywhere, and there's muskies everywhere in here. This is a beautiful thing. It's kind of midday. There's no wind. Not exactly optimal muskie fishing conditions, but they're here. Buddy the muskie. he came out.
How did he come for it?
Now, all these fish, they're not really biting very well because they're post-spawn and they're zombies. They don't really want to eat. There's so many that we pitch baits in front of and they won't even move. Like that